Do you consider yourself to be a free spirit? Or are you somebody who is more grounded and kind of likes to keep your roots close to home? Hi, my name is K.A Bloch, and I am the award winning poet and author of 4 books that consist of poetry and prose. My channel here is called The Practical Poet, and I also have a blog of the same name at thepracticalpoet.com. Each week on my channel, I feature a different poem from one of my 4 books, or maybe even some new material. And I give a little bit of the backstory on my blog as far as how the poem came to be, what was my inspiration, a little bit of my motivation for writing it. And the poem that I'm talking about this week comes from my latest book called Sow Seeds of Wisdom. And this is a book called Free Spirit. And this is about those people. Maybe you're one, maybe you know one, maybe your friend or your daughter or your mother or somebody is more of a free spirit. And maybe not. Maybe you are a little bit more of a grounded person. I definitely consider myself to be a little bit more grounded. I'm not one that kind of moves around a lot. I like things. I like to know where I'm sleeping, and I kind of like to know where my next meal is coming from, and all of those things that keep me a little bit more grounded. But I do know a lot of people that are free spirits, and they have a different kind of quality, a different way of living life, and they are the people that I'm maybe a little envious of. They have a little bit more of a carefree attitude about life, a little bit of joy, I can't say that, joie de vie, that French term, joy to live or joy for life. Not that us grounded people don't, but it's a little bit more of a carefree attitude, I feel like. So that was a little bit of the topic of this poem called Free Spirit. And a little bit of the backstory was, I was reminded when I was writing this poem, a couple of movies came to mind. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and back then there were a couple of movies that had to do with the theme of people from a small town and maybe feeling like they were stifled in that small town. They wanted to get out and spread their wings a little bit. And one of those movies was an early Tom Cruise movie. It may have even been his first, along with Leah Thompson, a movie called All the Right Moves. And I think that came out in 1983. And that was about the character of Tom Cruise trying to win a football scholarship so that he could get out of the small town, steel town in Philadelphia that he grew up in. He wanted to just kind of spread his wings and get out of there. And then shortly after that, in 1984, the movie that most of us are familiar with called Footloose. And if you remember the 2 characters in there, Ren and Ariel was the preacher's daughter, and she was definitely kind of a free spirit. They wanted to just kick off their Sunday shoes and dance to the beat of their own drum and kind of get out of the confines of the small town, the town that didn't allow dancing or partying or of any kind. And so both of those came to mind when I was writing this poem. A lot of times when there is a free spirit, I guess I shouldn't say a lot of times, sometimes when there is a free spirit, there's somebody kind of in the background that's trying to hold them back a little bit. Maybe not intentionally, but a little bit of maybe, sabotaging or questioning their motivation, or kind of putting a little fear in them to maybe get them to not spread their wings so far. Maybe it's a little bit of fear that the person won't come back, a little fear that, once they leave the nest, that they're going to be gone forever. Probably parents who are sending their kids off to college might feel a little bit of that. Like, are they going to come back home, or, are they gone forever? And I mean, I don't mean gone forever, but like, not going to live at home anymore, and they're going to, maybe move away and spread their wings a little further than maybe we're comfortable with. And that happens almost unintentionally with people when we see somebody that says, hey, I'm going to go live abroad. And we're like, are you sure about that? Do you really want to do that? Is that the best thing for you? And maybe, unintentionally, like I said, we're kind of sabotaging their dreams and trying to hold them back. And maybe we tell ourselves that it's for their own good, but maybe it's our own good. Maybe we're a little fearful of our life changing as a result of them spreading their wings. And you'll hear that in the poem. If you stick with me for the poetry reading or check it out on my blog, you're going to see that the free spirit in this poem starts to become a little bit resentful of the person that is holding him or her back. I don't really assign genders to my characters in my poems, but for some reason, this feels like a female presence is the free spirit, and maybe the male spirit is kind of the one holding the free spirit back. And you can interpret it differently, and I hope that you do. And that's just kind of my feeling of it. And it may not even be a love interest. It could be a parent. It could be a friend. Just somebody that the person grew up with, or whoever, just trying to hold this person back. But it feels a little deeper to me because there is a little bit of resentment on the part of the free spirit, kind of just saying like, don't hold me back. And it even gets into a little bit of controlling in a relationship, where the free spirit is saying, don't shut me down. Let me speak. Let me have my say. Don't, weigh me down. Don't hold me back. I want to get out there and I want to spread my wings and I want to fly. And so the person is, the free spirit's becoming a little bit resentful of the other person that's kind of holding him or her back in this poem. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the poetry reading. I hope that you'll stick with me. If you don't want to stick around for the video poetry reading, again, it is available on my blog at thepracticalpoet.com/blog. And then you would look for the poem Free Spirit. And just one other comment about this poem. I tend to not say that a poem is, one that I like a lot or one of my favorites. I feel that's kind of weird as the author of the poem to say, oh, this is one of my favorites. But this is really one of my favorite poems for reasons that I'm not sure of. Maybe because I am a little bit envious of the free spirit in this poem because it's so much not like me. I have no desire to go out there and spread my wings. And I'm kind of like, a little bit more of a, when you walk into a party or a room, kind of find the back corner or the back wall and kind of hover back there, rather than, you'll see the free spirits. They're the ones that are out there, socializing and grabbing drinks for everybody and talking to people and, networking as they call it. And that's definitely not how I am. So maybe it's a little bit of envy, maybe wishing that I was a little bit more like that person. But for some reason, for reasons that I don't know, this is one of my favorites. I do hope that you will enjoy it. And again, it is available on my blog at thepracticalpoet.com. This comes from, again, my latest book called Sow Seeds of Wisdom. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the video poetry reading. But first, a quick sip of tea. My voice is getting a little hoarse here. We have a very sunny day, blue sky out there, but very, very cold. I think it's only like 5 or 6 degrees out there today. So got my heavy little sweater on here and a nice warm cup of tea, and just enjoying just kind of being home and not having to go out in the elements for today. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into this video poetry reading, put on my glasses here so I can read and see if you can kind of hear the resentment in the free spirit as they are, thinking or communicating with this other person that's trying to hold them back. I'm the freest of the spirits. I'm a beam of guiding light. I'm a brilliant shooting star that dances through the night. I'm a giggle in a silent room, a song sung in the shower. I bring light and love and laughter. That is my superpower. My feet, they do not touch the ground. They skip and bounce and dance. While others tiptoe quietly, my feet were made to dance. I was never meant to be tied down. I was only born to fly. Yet you seem to want to hold me back, and I dare to wonder why. Do you think I'll fly too far away? Do you think I won't come back? Does my shining light bring light to the things that you might lack? Does my light make you realize that you live life in the dark? Do you think you might shine brighter by extinguishing my spark? For you try to keep me grounded and you strive to keep me near. You're like a pin to my balloon, releasing all the air. You don't seem to understand me or what's inside my soul. You try to be my keeper, but that is not your role. Please don't clip my wings so you can hold me to the ground. Please don't shush my voice so that I will not make a sound. Don't weigh down my shoes so that I cannot walk away. It's not fair to tie me to a chair so that I have to stay. Don't put a leash around my neck just to keep me near you. If you try to pull too tightly, it will only make me fear you. I was not brought onto earth to be kept inside a cage. You can't keep me behind the scenes. The world is my stage. So please just let me go if you cannot let me be. This is who I am. I was born to be free. You cannot clip my wings, so please don't even try. You cannot hold me to the ground, for I was born to fly. So that was the video poetry reading of Free Spirit, from Sow Seeds of Wisdom, my fourth book. Again, one of my favorite poems. I just really like how the person is kind of standing up for themselves in this, what appears to be a little bit of a controlling relationship. Do you agree? I mean, the person is kind of holding them back a little bit. And, this person is saying, don't shush my voice. Don't weigh me down. Don't try to hold me back. You have to let me go. And if you can't, let me go, then just let me be and let me live my life on my terms. And I think that's a lesson that, whether or not you're a free spirit, live life on your terms, and try not to let anybody ever hold you back. So with that, I'm going to go enjoy hunkering down under a blanket, maybe watching a little Netflix this afternoon on this cold winter day. Wherever you are in the world, I hope that it's lovely and sunny and bright. And I'm wishing you a wonderful rest of the day. By the way, if you like this video poetry reading and you want to hear more, please like and subscribe, and you will be notified each week when I drop a video poetry reading. And also, please check out my blog. I have many different poems, full-length poems, along with the motivation and the story as to how they came to be on my blog at thepracticalpoet.com. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Bye.